Obstacles are placed in our way to see if what we want is really worth fighting for. An anonymous quote. And folks, that's what it's all about. Learning, making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, and continuing that uptrend. We're going to knock out these charts as quickly as we can today. I am bushed. I have been interviewing students all day for the Accelerated Market Mastery course. Had a great time talking with everyone, but I tell you, it wears you out more than working in the field. So we're going to go ahead and jump into these charts. We see the S&P 500 is down a little bit. The Qs just keeps rocketing up. We see 20-year bonds up. Again, we're not hitting that lower low yet. And gold up, sort of range bound on gold. We'll talk about that when we get to it. And of course, we'll hit those other charts too. Let's jump into the S&P 500. Down 0.56% now. We see a candle reaching a higher high. Nice big green up candle. Moving up. Price percent oscillator moving up. Derivative oscillator moving up. Go to the 2-day. That's where you see that cautionary red open box candle means a slowdown in the up movement. The high, let's see, 323.28. The prior 323.41. So we've not hit the high, just barely missed that. Probably the reason for the red open box candle. And you can see the price percent oscillator lost some of its up angle. Derivative oscillator still gaining upward momentum. Go to the 4-hour chart. And again, this is where we've seen things peak, and now for 2 days sliding sideways, tending down, rotating over, going down at the end of the day. So keep your eye in particular on that 2-day chart, seeing how this candle sorts itself out. Price is still well above the 2-day and the weekly. We want to get everything we can out of the movement, but at the same time, don't want to jump out too early or stay too late. Look at the Qs. Beautiful, 1.20%. Stair steps moving up, 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 up. Higher high, big green up candle, the biggest green up candle we've seen since maybe the week ending the 24th of April. For sure, the week ending the 17th of April. So again, nice up movement. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Price percent oscillator heading up. Go to that 2-day chart. Look at that big green up candle. That represents, of course, Tuesday and Wednesday, pushing through the peak, pushing through the Bollinger Band. Look at the price percent oscillator heading up, derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Quite beautiful. And again, you see higher high in the afternoon after up movement in the morning. It's just very nice. So that play continues. Cautionary note on the S&P. We leave stocks, go to bonds. Now, bonds not reaching the lower low. We've been talking about that all week. We see the derivative oscillator continuing to gain downward momentum. Price percent oscillator losing that angle, that really down strong angle, just again sitting right there on the 50-period moving average line. So we'll watch, see what there is to see and learn there. Go to the 2-day. That's where you see a green open box candle. Now that's some pretty strong movement up for these latest 2 days. Price percent oscillator still heading down a little bit, just about flat. Derivative oscillators lost momentum for the first time in a few days. So be very cautionary at this point. Haven't had a crossover on the 2-day, but when we get into the 4-hour, it crossed over yesterday afternoon. Now, it did give us sort of a slowdown in the movement, but it proceeded up in the morning. Watch this 2-day trend line also. If you are in TLT still, and again, it may revert back to the mean and keep heading down, but pay attention. You start violating these 2-day trend lines in addition to this further weakening of the 2-day candle and the 2-day price percent oscillator. Very important for you. So that's where we are there. Lastly, on our big charts, we go to gold. Now, let me first go to the weekly chart. Look at this. This is what I talk about that happens when you have a crossover. It was strong Monday and then Tuesday, but look at how it's now laminated. It's going to do one of two things. What's it going to do? It's going to bounce off and it's going to revert back to up movement, or it's going to die and move down. What does the candlestick tell us? It says indecision, lots of indecision, almost a doji. It's a green candlestick, so technically indecision tending up. Look at the derivative oscillator, still negative, again, but lost a lot of that energy. So again, we'll watch, see where gold is. Now, in particular, look at the 2-day. 2-day is still negative. It's a little less than flat. Derivative oscillators lost some downward momentum. Look at this big green up candle. That is of concern, pushing through the top Bollinger Band. We had touched the bottom Bollinger Band before, so lots of back and forth in gold, but so pay close attention over particularly Thursday. If we see things just continuing to bound up in gold. Now remember, gold is a bit range bound, isn't it? If we started drawing some lines, we'll see gold is range bound between about 58 and 64. Gold is in there, has been in there. Which way is it going to break out? Well, still, our larger charts are negative on gold. So the larger price percent oscillators telling you negative still. That's subject to change, but pay close attention. This is a great learning experience for practice trading. Look at the 4-hour chart. Look at the crazy popping up of gold, almost to $64. And we see, again, that's not a solid green, just up candle. It is, well, it's a solid green candle. I'm sorry, it's not an open box green up candle, but it is, and it has a long wick on the top and a wick on the bottom. Again, that's showing some indecision in the price movement. Strong up in the morning, but some indecision in the afternoon. So keep your eye on things. Let's see how it sorts out. Again, focus mainly on that 2-day chart and mainly on that weekly chart. If it starts, the price percent oscillator crosses through the red signal line and starts going up, pay close attention to that. So good learning experience right now with gold as it sorts itself out. And this is the first of all the weekly vertical crossovers that we've had for the year that's been a bit shaky to start. So real shaky to start. So we'll keep pushing through these charts. Again, that's it for the 4 big ones. I have 3 more to go through from those of you who are interested. And also, if you hadn't signed up for the Accelerated Market Mastery course, want to be considered for that, you need to email us, cw@chartingwealth.com. Be sure to include your cell number so we can set up the interview to see if this program is right for you. See the link in the show notes to understand what it's about. It's everything you need. A hyper-accelerated course, the best we have to offer. Okay, let's jump into Bitcoin, up just a little bit for the day, 0.29%. Bitcoin is just sort of stuck right in this $9,700 area, just sort of hanging out there. It hit a high of $9,978.93. Price percent oscillator still going up. Derivative oscillator losing a little bit of upward momentum. Go to the 2-day chart. What do you see there? Again, getting closer to a crossing over, going down, it appears. And again, what we're seeing more than anything else in the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks is just a sideways slide. So pay attention to that. And of course, what do we see on the 4-hour chart? Loading up a little slow. It's still negative. Remember, it crossed over going up this last week, popped up, and now it's just trending, sliding sideways. We'll just have to see how that sorts itself out. That's what's up with Bitcoin. Let's go to property. Down 2.54%, our biggest downer for the day. Have a nice up week so far as a green up candle goes. No wick on the bottom, little wick on top compared to the size of the candle. High 86.80, high last week 86.07. So we have reached a higher high. Price percent oscillators just jamming up. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Go to the 2-day chart. What do we see there? Well, we see that 2-day chart losing a little bit of momentum there. Red open box candle, so a pullback, a slowdown in the up movement. Be careful with that. And of course, consequently, you can see when that kind of thing occurs, there's typically going to be a crossover going down on the 4-hour chart. 2 down candles representing the day of down movement. So pay attention. Again, revert back to that 2-day chart and, of course, that weekly chart. So again, We've seen some nice appreciation since that weekly vertical crossover in real estate. See just how long it continues. Starts losing that luster, then of course you can pull that practice trade. Lastly, we go to black gold, up for the day just a little bit. The smallest amount of up movement for the day, 0.04%, 0.4%. We see the price percent oscillator heading up. It's got a little ways to go before and if it crosses that red trend line. Going into the fourth week of up movement, little candles, not a lot of movement, but trending up. That's good to see. What about the 2-day chart? Of course, it crossed over back on the 19th. Went up a candle, then sideways for 3 candles, up 3 candles, and sideways right now. Price percent oscillator still heading up, derivative oscillator losing momentum. And you can just see that sideways slide in the 4-hour chart. So again, waiting to see how gold's going to sort itself out, particularly on that weekly chart. Folks, that's it as we end the day on Wednesday. Now remember, we go into Thursday. This is our recording for Thursday. What do you do on Wednesday night? You sit back, you look at your weekly charts, you empty your mind, and you say, what are the weekly charts telling me? This is the day we do that. So do that. After you do your studying, just sit back, go through the charts that you're interested in, and see what the weekly charts are telling you. This is the time of week that we do that. We have a special training for you today. Liquidity, a key to your success, a big key, particularly in roiling markets with exogenous events occurring. Liquidity is what it's all about. Learn more. Follow the link in the show notes. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.